Okay. Good evening, everyone. Hello, I am audible.
Yeah, good evening, Sandeep.
Yes, sir. Good evening.
What was the last discussion?
Use effect, use reference.
Okay. Okay. Yesterday we discussed how to use refs, right? How to use ref. There is something called a callback ref also. There is something called callback ref. Let's understand what is callback ref. There is something called callback ref. What is that? Let's understand. React supports another way to set references called callback ref. What is this callback refs? Which gives more fine-grained control uh, over plain ref when refs are set and unset. So what does it mean?
Is it
Normal
provide a
refs?
default value as well?
No, no, not like that. See, this is called plain ref. In plain ref, how it looks like, let me show you. This is ref demo 3. In ref demo 3, what we have done, we have created
Use ref.
use ref, then that ref we are using here, ref equal to my ref. Now I will show you callback ref. What is callback ref? Let me show you one example. This is ref demo 4. I'll enable ref demo 4. So in callback ref, what we do, let's understand. In callback ref, there are two benefits. In plain ref, you would have noticed we were using we were using we were using like this. First we were using use ref. Second thing, we used to write input ref1 dot current dot value. Remember these two things. In callback ref, we don't have to do those two things. Then what we will do? We will just declare two ref variables, input ref1, input ref2. Then here in input box, we will create a ref. This input box, input ref1 equal to the whole input box. The whole input box will go, the whole input box will go to that reference variable. Let me quickly show you. This is ref demo. Let me first of all show you ref demo 3 example. This is ref demo 3. In this ref demo 3, we have this code. This is ref demo 3 code I am pasting in ref demo 4. Now, what all changes we will make it uh, not use ref. Let's declare only the variables like this: my ref1, my ref2. Just declare the variables like this. Let's change it to late. My ref1 and my ref2 are two variables. Then to get the value from first ref, we don't have to write, we don't have to write current. We can directly say dot value. So dot value is fine. No need to say current. Directly input ref2 dot value. Then here we have to make some changes. What is the change? The change is we have to create one arrow function here. That arrow function, this is one arrow function. Here we have to write one arrow function. That arrow function will take the input box as argument. Then in this arrow function, in this arrow function, in this arrow function, we will say myref1 is equal to the input box. Input box. The input box we are assigning it to myref1. The same way, we can create one arrow function. This is arrow function. This arrow function takes input box and assigns that input box to myref2. Now there are two callback refs. This is called callback ref. This is called callback ref. So in this case, what happens? Yeah, it is the same thing. 10, 20. No. Yeah. 10, 20. Addition is 30. So what all changes did we make here? The changes that we made is we didn't use useref. No need to use useref. No need to use current here. But here we have to write a callback function. That function takes input box, then assigns that input box to myref1. Is it clear?
Sir, here none of them is predefined, right?
No. This is user defined. This is user defined. Only this is predefined.
Then here means simply without using useref also we can do these things, right? Then do we use
Yes.
useref? Means what is the like in practical programs, which one will be more appreciable?
There are two options. People use both of them. We can use either useref concept or we can use this one also.
Can you give any example, practical example, like where we can use useref and that place this callback ref is not suitable, and where we
No, there is no such example. We can alternatively use.
Okay, so both are having same priority only. We can use whatever.
Yes.
No. Actually, this one we no need to use any state, nothing, right? So this looks more simply.
No, there also we didn't use to use any state. No state is required.
No, not state. We did not use any useref variable here, right? So
Yeah, we didn't
that
use
is
any
not
useref. Yeah, that's true.
This is more simpler way, like just the input box we are assigning it in a variable that we have declared.
A few people say this is simpler. Few people feel the previous one is simpler because in previous one we just write ref equal to myref1, ref equal to myref2. So this much is easier here. This HTML syntax, and here we just use ref. So if you think this is simpler, use this, or else use this. This is called callback ref. So if you search React callback ref, you will find this. In callback ref, this is how it looks like. So input ref, element, like this. But yes, you can see here. So it is saying If the ref callback is defined as an inline function, it will get called twice during the updates, first with null and then again with the DOM element. This is because a new instance of the function is created with each render. So React needs to clear the old ref and set up new one. You can avoid this by defining the ref callback as a bound method on the class, but note that it should not matter in most cases. Yeah, it's saying it will call your callback function 2 times, but it should not be a problem. That's what it is saying. And they are saying we recommend to use either callback pattern or the create ref pattern. I mean use ref pattern. So either one we can use. It's not a problem. Not much different. Is it clear how to create a callback ref?
Yes, sir.
Next, there is something called ref forwarding. One ref variable, we can forward it to child component also. That is also something we can do. Let me show you one simple thing. Suppose there is a class called test. This test class is using, this test component is using fancy button component, and we have something called myref. We have something called myref in test component. I want to pass this ref to child component. Then this dot myref, we can pass it to fancy button component. This ref we are passing to fancy button component. What fancy button component is doing? Fancy button component is using react.forwardRef. React.forwardRef, using forward ref, it is again passing that refs to next to probs. We can have ref. It is again passing that ref to the button element. So this is also possible. Here, fancy button component is called the intermediator who is collecting a ref from test component and passing that ref to plain HTML button. This is also possible. This is called forwarding the ref forwarding. This is called ref forwarding. Ref forwarding. What is ref forwarding? It is a feature that lets some components take a ref they receive and pass or forward it further down to a child. One component can collect a ref and pass it to the child component. If a component is doing that, we call it as ref forwarding. Is it clear? Okay. Now I want to see how many of you have completed this addition program using ref. Can you share your screen if you have done?
Shall I share?
Yes, please.
Yeah. Is my screen visible? Hello.
1 second. Yes, it's visible.
Yeah. So here I practiced all 3 examples, whatever we have discussed yesterday.
What are the examples?
The first
one is addition.
Yeah, the last one is the addition one. And this one is when we are changing the name. So it should show the current.
Show the previous name and current name.
Yeah, this one also I practiced. And this is the count one.
Okay, very good.
Current and previous value.
Very good. Can you create a new file and show us the what is that? Callback ref?
Callback ref. I'm not sure,
The
but I will
not
be
sure.
able to do it.
No problem. Okay. And now I will ask others to share the screen and show me these things.
Sure.
Anyone else? Anyone else has done it by mistake
No,
or by any chance?
no.
By mistake or by any chance, is there anyone who has completed this ref wala example?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I am completed.
You want to share your screen?
Yes, sir. The screen is visual.
Yes, yes.
Here is the web folder. This is another one.
Okay.
This is the last one.
What is ref demo 3? Go to ref demo 3.
Yeah, this is ref demo 3.
Okay. Mhm. Give me a second. Okay, good. Fine. You can stop your screen, sir. Anyone else? I think nobody else has done it. It's okay. So anyway, after a week, this training will be over and nobody will be there to ask you whether you are doing practice or not. If you want to really learn React, practice all these things. After a week, this training will be done, guys. Hope you know that. So it's late. It's already late, but it's not too late. If you have not yet started, please start practicing the things. After the training is over, if you practice and if you are stuck somewhere, there will be no one to help you. And you are 200% confident that I have opted for video recordings. Those video recordings will not help you much. You will not have time to go through the video recordings. That too, video recordings will not help you to fix your issues while practicing also. So it's not too late. Start practicing if you really want to learn something. If you join this training only for time pass or you join this training just to get the videos, then that's fine. You can enjoy your time. Fine. So today we will start with a new topic called form. Okay. What is form and why we use form? Let's understand. React uses forms to allow users to interact with the web page. Yes. Using form, we can collect user data. We can collect user data. We are asking user to fill the details in sign up form, register form. We are collecting user data. Whenever we use form, we should use event.target.value. We should use event.target.value. We should use event.target.value to get the field value. Get the field value by using event.target.value. Get the field name by using event.target.name. By using event.target.name, we will get the field name. By using event.target.value, we will get field value. Control the submit action by adding an event handler in the onSubmit attribute. Whenever you write a form, your form should have onSubmit attribute. Add a submit button and an event handler with onSubmit attribute. If you have a form, you should have a button submit, and on submit, you should call event handler. Use event.prevent default. Use event.prevent default to prevent the form from actually being submitted. If you don't want to refresh your page, please write event.prevent default. It is must to write. We can control the values of more than one input field by adding a name attribute to each element. Okay, let's stop here and let's practice all these things. Let's understand all these things with one example. Suppose I want to create a form. I want to create a form. In that form, I want to have first name and last name, two fields. And on submit, I want to print your first name is Sachin, your last name is Tendulkar. If I want to do that, what all things I have to do? Please understand. I'll create a new folder. I'll create a new folder. The folder name will be form. In this form, I will create a file. The file name is formdemo1.js. This is a functional component. And I'll go to center component. In center component, I will enable form demo1. Now, what I'll do, you can see form demo1 is working fine. Now what I'll do, I will have a heading h1 form demo form demo1. Then after this, I'll create a paragraph. In this paragraph, I'll say first name, and I'll write a input box. Then I'll write another paragraph. In this paragraph, I'll write last name. Then I'll have a button submit. Now, what we will do, we will declare two state variables. Const fname and set fname is equal to use state of empty. Const lname set lname is equal to use state of empty. Then I'll write a change handler here. On change, I'll call a function change handler 1. Change handler 1. So let's write change handler 1 const change handler 1 equal to, it will take one e means event. Then I'll say set fname e dot target dot value. Then for second I'll say on change handler 2, on change handler 2. In this change handler 2, I'll say change handler 2 equal to set lname, set last name, e dot target dot value. Then let's wrap all these things inside a form. So I'll create a form tag here and on submit, I'll call submit my form. It's our function. Submit my form is a function. In that submit my form, I will say console.log fname and lname. So let's try. Do you have any questions so far? If you have any question, please ask.
Sir, why are you giving submit my form in as a event? So line number 13.
Yeah, because whenever you submit the form, there is a form tag. On submit, we are calling submit my form function. So whenever you submit the form, whenever you click the submit button, indirectly, you are calling this function, submit my form function. In this submit my form function, we can print what is there in the form. Now I'll go and type here Sachin Tendulkar. When I submit in the console, it prints Sachin Tendulkar. Then the page is getting reloaded. Yes or no? Did you notice the page is getting reloaded? If you want to stop that, here you write e dot prevent default. E dot prevent default. If you write e dot prevent default, when you submit the form, the page refresh will not happen. Page is not getting refreshed. Do you understand what is the need of this line?
Yes, sir.
Any question here? How
Why
to
the
create a
page is getting refreshed like every time?
that is the default behavior of HTML form.
But sir, here we are not switching from one component to another component, right?
We are not switching, but in HTML also, whenever you submit a form, the page reload will happen. That is the default behavior of form. We can't avoid that. If you want to avoid, we should write this line. Understood?
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Sir, after submitting, in the input text was clear, sir. How can be clear, sir?
You want to clear or you don't want to clear?
We want to clear, sir. In the input text, we are entering input at Sachin and Tendulkar. After submitting, Sachin and Tendulkar was removed in the input box.
Yeah. So now it will not be removed because we are not reloading. Say now it is not removing. Why? Because we are not reloading the page. If you want to remove, you have to write some logic and remove here.
In jQuery, one reset function is there, sir. Like that in React, nothing is available.
We can have reset. We can have reset here. This is not related to jQuery. It's the I mean, if you write input type equal to reset, input type equal to input type equal to reset. Input type equal to submit. So this is a submit button. This is a reset button. It's there in plain HTML itself. Nothing to do with jQuery.
Okay. Not this, sir. If we give that form ID and if we write a reset method in jQuery, that entire form going to be reset.
That also we can do. We can write some logic, but this reset functionality comes from the form itself.
This I know. This
We
is
can
from
reset.
HTML.
Yes. This is from HTML. We can reset it. And this is the submit button. It submits. Got it? One more thing. If you write input type equal to reset, input type equal to submit, this is a reset button. This is a submit button. But if you write button only, button, if you write button reset, it's not a reset button. It's a submit button only. Even if the text is reset, it's not a reset button. So whenever we create button inside form, it is always a submit button. It's a submit button. You see? So when we create plain button inside a form tag, it is always a submit button, no matter what is the text that we write. If you write submit and reset, do you think this is submit button and this is reset button?
No.
This is, all of them are submit button.
Submit.
Do you agree? All of them are submit buttons. Submit, submit, submit. Is it clear? So one thing, please remember, when you create a button, every button present inside a form tag is a submit button. If you want to create submit and reset button, for submit button, nothing to do. If you want to create reset button, don't use button, better use input type equal to reset, input type equal to submit. Is it clear? Yes, you can always change the text of the button by saying value equal to clear, value equal to login or something like that. So which one is submit button and which one is reset button here?
Clear.
Clear is the reset button. Login is the submit button. Yes. A form can have two type of buttons, a reset button and submit button. But if you write button tag, every button inside a form is a submit button. Are we clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is how form submit works. Next, we have used two change handlers. Change handler 1, change handler 2. If I don't want to use change handler 1, change handler 2, what can we do? Can we have one change handler?
Yes.
If we write change handler and change handler, so here also it will be change handler, not change handler 1 or change handler 2. Then what we will do here? We have to assign a name here. How to differentiate? Name equal to fname. Name equal to lname. Then we will write a condition here. If e dot target dot name e.target.name is equal to fname. Set fname is equal to e.target.value. Else set lname e.target.value. No need to write two change handler. In one change handler only we can write if else. So this is also fine. It works fine. Is it clear? Is it fine? Do you have any question here?
No, sir.
Oh, no, sir. Good, sir.
Sir, line number 33, we are providing class name MS1. So it's giving the margin or space?
Margin start. MS means margin start.
Okay, sir. Yeah.
This is margin start. This is margin end. I think you people are happy when I have to only explain. You have to lie down on the bed and only listen me, right? Okay, fine. Next example we will understand. The next example is controlled and uncontrolled form elements. What is controlled and uncontrolled form elements? I'll explain. What is controlled and uncontrolled form elements? Anyone who knows what is controlled and uncontrolled? Fine. It's okay. We'll understand what is controlled and uncontrolled. Uncontrolled inputs are like traditional HTML form inputs. Uncontrolled inputs are like traditional HTML inputs. Form data is handled by DOM itself. They remember what you typed. You can then get their value using a ref. To write an uncontrolled component, instead of writing an event handler for every state update, you can use a ref. You can use a ref to get the form values from the DOM. Okay. What is uncontrolled input elements and what is controlled elements? Uncontrolled and controlled. Let me show you. Suppose I have a paragraph. First name is fname and last name is lname. How frequently we get the first name and last name? How frequently? See here. Initially, fname is empty, last name is empty. When I type here S, first name is what? S. Last name S, A, C, H, I, N. What are we doing? We are updating the state every time user performs an action on this input box. When user types T, E, N or A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. What is happening? Every time user types something in the input box, the state is getting updated. Yes or no? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So this kind of form elements are called controlled form elements. Controlled means every time user does something, we get the latest value and we update the state. So when user types something, immediately we update it. There are few examples where we don't have to collect the value from the input box every time user types. I mean, on every key up or on every change. I don't want to get the value. I want to get the value while submitting the form. If you have such requirement, go with uncontrolled form elements.
Babu asked me to use this only, but I couldn't
Okay.
do it.
Uncontrolled inputs are like traditional HTML form inputs. Form data is handled by the DOM itself. They remember what you typed. You can get their value using a ref.
বাবু at least idea তো বলেছিল
To write an uncontrolled component, instead of writing an event handler for every state update, you can use a ref to get the form value from the DOM. You have to pull the value from the field when you need it. In case of controlled, on every key up, we are getting the value. In case of uncontrolled, we have to pull the value from the input box when we need it. The example is form submit. While submitting the form, we need the value. Pull the data from the input box.
কেন আপডেট হচ্ছে তার জন্য বাবু বলেছিল অন সাবমিটে ফাংশনটা লিখতে পারে আমরা হ্যান্ডেল ইনপুটে
There is no updating of any state when you change the input box value. Let React to specify the initial value, but leave subsequent updates uncontrolled. So when you keep typing, it will not update the state. It is uncontrolled. To handle this case, you can specify a default value attribute instead of value attribute. What is controlled form? Controlled form components are defined with a value property. Value of the controlled input is managed by React. With a control component, the input's value is always driven by React state. Component state and the input value is always in sync at all the times. This is how it looks like. Input, some ID. Input, it has some ID. It has on change. On change, it is calling the function. Value, some function. Some value. Do you understand? Do you understand what is controlled and what is uncontrolled form?
yes
Okay. Now we will understand when we should go with controlled, when we should go with uncontrolled form elements. One-time value retrieval. While submitting the form, you want the form value. While submitting the form, you want the form value. In uncontrolled, can we achieve this? In controlled, can we achieve this? Can we get the value while submitting the form? Yes,
one
no?
will be more recommended like it will be
We are yet to discuss. Now, if I want to fetch the form value only one time, can we do it in uncontrolled form?
Yes.
Can we do that in controlled form also?
yeah obviously
Yes. You want to validate the form on submit. If you want to validate the form on submit, can you do it in uncontrolled form? Yes, we can do. Can we do it in controlled form? Yes, we can do. You want field level validation. In uncontrolled, we cannot achieve it. In controlled, we can achieve it.
field level validation ఉంది
Conditionally disabling the submit button. If a input box is filled, disable the submit button. If the input box is not filled, sorry?
Field level validation means, sir, how
Field level validation means first name is filled or not. If not filled, show a error message next to that input box.
Okay, it's showing
Last,
after comes to next box only.
yes,
Okay, if in case I am not filling first name, if it comes to second last name I want to fill, it's showing there only itself.
yes.
Okay.
Conditionally disabling the submit button. Suppose you want to disable the submit button if one of the field is not filled. First name or second name is not filled, first name or last name is not filled, disable the submit button. Can you do it in uncontrolled form? No, but we can do it in controlled form. Enforcing input format. In a input box, only number is allowed. Strings are not allowed. Special characters are not allowed. That we cannot do here, but we can do here. Several inputs for one piece of data. I mean dynamic form. Uncontrolled form will not be useful here. Control form can do it. Dynamic inputs. Dynamic input means you don't know how many input box will be there inside a form. Initially you don't know. On the fly, the user will decide how many input boxes should be there inside a form. For that, uncontrolled is not the best one. Controlled is the better one here. So controlled form elements, we can say controlled form elements supports everything, but uncontrolled supports only few things, doesn't support other things. The last example that we tried, it was controlled or uncontrolled.
It is a control.
It was controlled because every time I type, the state is updated, right? I can do whatever I want to do. Now we will understand the next example, uncontrolled form element. Let me show you that.
Uncontrolled will always use ref only in order to get the state.
Yes.
Okay.
For uncontrolled, what I will do, let me use this code instead of typing. I'll copy this code and I'll explain. See what we are doing here. We have const first name, set f name, use state Sachin. L name, set L name, Tendulkar. Ref1, ref2. We created two ref variables. Then we created two ref variables. Then there is a submit handler. We are preventing the default. We are printing f name and L name. F name and L name. Okay. Okay. So what are we doing? In that case, we don't need state event. We don't need state event. If you want to store the data in state, we can do it here, or else it is not required. But if you want to show some default value, we can have a state. So what are we doing here? There is a form on submit. We are calling submit handler. First name, input name equal to f name. Default value is f name. Default value means on page load, it will show Sachin. Ref equal to ref1. Default value equal to L name. Ref equal to ref2. On submit, we are calling submit handler. Let's say I'll add SA. I'll add T. So on page load, it is showing SA and T. But if I keep typing F name and L name. F name, L name, small letter. SA and T. When I go and type CHIN, is it updating the state variable here?
No.
If I type Tendulkar, is it updating the state variable? No. So it means it is not a controlled form. It is an uncontrolled form. We are not tracking each changes. We are tracking the changes on submit. While submitting, I'm collecting the data. I'm collecting the data while submitting. So this was the default value. This is the value while submitting the form. If you don't want to capture every change value, don't go with controlled form. With controlled form, on every change, lot of things are happening. If you want to avoid those things, go with uncontrolled form. Now it is up to you. When you need the updated data, you need the updated data every time you change, or you need the updated data while submitting the form. If you are okay to get the updated data while submitting the form, go with uncontrolled form. If you want the updated data on every type, go with controlled form. Is it clear?
Okay, inside useRef, we can store a reference of a object.
What do you mean by that?
I mean to say, suppose this F name and L name is an object. Used I have defined it as an object. And then I want to use this uncontrolled form. So useRef, I need to store that object, right? So is it possible, like if I will write const object equal to useRef?
This useRef is just used here. This ref1 is pointing to this input box, nothing else. So when I say ref1 dot current dot value, I will be able to fetch what is the current value of the input box.
So that means single input box, I need to maintain a single useRef, right?
Yes, one input box, one ref. That is why I told if it is dynamic form, don't go with ref.
Now,
For dynamic,
if it is not dynamic, but it is a big form, in that case,
if it is a big form also, using ref is not a good option. If the form has a lot of fields, you have to create ref for every input box. It's not good.
But for simple login page, we can use this actually.
Yes, for simple login page, we can use this concept. And we don't need updated data on every type. If you don't need the updated data on every type, go with this. Okay, this is on control form. Hope you got it. Next example. Okay. Now, what if I want to maintain the form data in an object? I want to maintain the form data in an object. In an object, I want to maintain the form data. How can we do it? This is important. Please try to understand. Okay, we will update the form data in an object format. We will maintain the data in an object format. So I'll explain. Okay. Suppose I have a state variable called user. I have a state variable called user. Let's say const user and set user is equal to use state fname Sachin lname Tendulkar. We have this object. Use state auto import should happen. Now return form demo 3. Okay. Then what we should do here? Can you help me? Suppose we have a form. In this form, we have two things. One is first name. For first name, there is an input box. Then we have another last name. For last name also we have one input box. Then we have one button to submit. Okay. So can you help me? What should be done here? You have to tell me.
We create a handle submit first, and which we will pass in the form itself.
For the form, we can mention submit is equal to handle submit. And for each input, name is equal to user dot not name, value.
Okay. Okay.
We will write a single handle submit, and inside that we will send a callback. In that we will say set user equal to e dot event.
Okay. First of all, what if I want to show that data in this form? How can we do it? We already have one object. I want to show that data here in this input box. How can we do it?
Value is equal to,
yeah, let's say name equal to fname name equal to fname, and value equal to user dot fname. The same thing we will do it for second input box. Name is lname, value is user dot lname. So this is enough to print the default value. You see, this is enough to print the default value. Okay. Now, so whenever you write a value, it is asking you to write a on change, right? If it is on change, we have to add on change now. Okay. Now on change, we will call a change handler, right? On change, we will call a change handler. If we have to call change handler outside the form, let me print user dot fname user dot lname. Now on change, what we will do? A function will be called, right? On change, a function will be called. This function will take one event. Then what we will do here? Can you help me? We will call set user, right?
Yes.
To set user, what we will pass?
Fname is equal to
fname fname should be e dot target dot value, right?
Yes.
Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay. Then on change, I'll add it to second input box also. In the second input box, L name is e dot target dot value. See what is happening. Initially, it is Sachin Tendulkar. When I delete, what happened? It is printing Sachi, but Tendulkar is gone. When I type, when I do something here, only Tendulkar it is showing, other things are gone. Because here it is the user object. In user object, I want to maintain other things from user. I want to maintain other things means other properties from user object. I don't want to touch other fields from user object. Other fields means LName, FName, date of birth, email. Those things I don't want to touch. They will be as it is. Only FName should be modified. Here other things will be as it is. Only LName will be modified. So when I modify Sachin, you see, is it clear? Do you understand? Is it clear?
Yes.
No,
So
there is one.
whenever we change something in the object and we want to have the old values as well, that's when we use the spread operator, the original object and the changed one.
Correct. It will make sure that other fields are not affected. Only FName is modified.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's all for today. There is one assignment for you. You have to create one registration form, not only with input box, add input box, drop down, text area. Try to add as many fields as you can and maintain one object like this, user object, and try to add input box, radio button, checkbox, drop down, create a registration form. Will you be able to do that?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So don't restrict yourself to use only input box. Try to use input box, text area, radio button, checkbox, and at the end you should have one object. That object name can be registration form or user info, whatever it is. There will be only one object where we will maintain the data. Will you do that? You can refer this example and do it. Okay.
Hello, sir. Sir, I need some help, sir.
Yeah. What help you need?
Oh, sir, I am developing a website and in which I have used position, relative, and absolute. So after that, I am using another div. So it is going inside of the absolute relative div.
You
So-
can share your screen. Let's see who is.
Yes.
Recording stopped.
So this is one div which background is green. So inside this is having relative position, and after that I want to create this div red border div. So now I have given some margin to it. So it is coming down, but when I'm not giving margin, it is going inside of this div. So how to get out of this? Hello.
Anyone in this group wants to help?
Will Z-index work here? I mean,
Yes, sir.
Questions, 1 second, please.
Oh, see, I am showing you code.
We are done for the day. Those who wants to drop, if you have any other work, you can drop the call.
So here 2-3 divs are there. This is the service section. This is service section, which I want to create. And this is card section where I have given
Your voice is breaking.
So this is card section where I have given position, relative, and absolute to move this card upward to over.
Your voice is completely breaking.
We are unable to understand the question.
To overlap this section, I have given
your voice is not
absolute
clear,
position of these cards. So after that, I want to create one div for our service section. Okay. So right now I want to create one div after this div, but it is going inside of this div.
After which thing?
Maybe that is the problem of your position relative.
So without relative, yes, I have given relative absolute position.
No, definitely I think that is the problem of
for this div.
Which div you once check which div
background div, and after this div I want to create this div, our service.
Only up to that section you have to give
yes,
but
it is coming give, like over.
You gave relative to entire body. That's why
yes,
second
this
absolute also going top.
Yes, yes. Yes, main section is also going up. So this is 0, 1 is 1 div, and this is floating up with respect to this black background, and whole section is floating up with respect to the one parent div. So here I have created one card container which contains all the cards,
in the chat box.
and this is the parent div, and here this is all div which is containing cards 1 and cards up to card 4, and these are the individual cards. Okay.
Prem, did you understand?
Network is a little.
Type on text, bro. Type in short. Ajay, please type chart in your problem.
Okay. Yes.
Hello, Ajay. Hello, Ajay. Hello, Ajay.
He messaged in the group that due to network issue, he is not able to explain. So leave it like that way. Ajay, if you are there, you can type the requirement in the chat itself. We can have a look.
Okay, fine. We'll see. See you tomorrow, guys.
Thank you.